For Action News, I'm Mana Samovska. Big news today, the Food and Drug Administration for the first time will regulate electronic cigarettes. The proposal would put some restrictions on the nicotine delivery device that helps smokers quit by delivering the nicotine they crave without the toxic cigarette smoke. If adopted, the government would curb sales to minors, it would stop the handing out of free samples, and it would require warning labels and ingredients to be disclosed on the product. The good news for ex-smokers is the FDA is not at this time seeking to ban online sales, TV ads, and the use of flavorings in the product. Here's ACTIA's Dr. Gilbert Ross with more.
The fear that we've had over the course of the last months since the FDA first submitted their regulations to the OMB last fall is that they were going to try to enact some very stringent and onerous requirements for e-cigarettes to try to make them go through hoops related to pharmaceutical products. And going through clinical trials and all of that stuff would have taken years and hundreds of millions of dollars and would have driven the market underground, frankly, and the remains of the market in 3 or 5 years would have been just sopped up by big tobacco. That would have been a disaster. So it's well short of that. From a public health point of view, it's a good thing because they did not ban or pull any e-cigarette products now or vapor products off the market. And they haven't made any assertion that they're going to. What they do require is that the products now on the market will have to submit applications to be allowed to stay on the market. But as long as a company submits an application, they'll be allowed to keep their products on the market until the FDA rules on each and every of these applications. Smokers who need to have a product that will help them quit will find e-cigarettes available next week, just as they did last week. That's the good news. That's also sort of the bad news because these regulations will stifle innovation. The marketplace will basically resemble the current marketplace because new products will have to go through a lot of hoops to try to get past the FDA approval process now. It's not as bad as the pharmaceutical process, but still, it's going to be onerous, and it's not based on anything relevant to science or public health. They're just throwing up obstacles in the path of these products for, I'm afraid to say, political reasons rather than scientific reasons. They did institute an age limit for e-cigarette products, at least those containing nicotine, of 18. And that's quite reasonable. We here at the American Council on Science and Health have been calling for appropriate, responsible regulation of e-cigarettes. And the FDA proposed regulations now are pretty closely in accord with what we have been saying, which is child-proof packaging, accurate labeling, warning labels about the nicotine, age restrictions, good, reliable manufacturing processes. There is a silver lining in the regulations that may not be so apparent to many folks involved in this, but around the country, this contagion of hysteria about e-cigarettes has led politicians to exploit the situation. Many smaller cities have enacted bans and restrictions on the sales and the ability to use e-cigarettes, or vape as it's called, indoors. And a lot of the excuses we've heard about why they're doing these things, which make no sense based upon science at all or public health, is that, well, the FDA hasn't taken the lead here by giving us our guidance on regulations and restricting on e-cigarettes, so we're going to have to do it ourselves. And that's what's been happening. Now we have some guidance and will hopefully tend to impede progress that's being made against e-cigarettes, and retro progress, I should say, where various localities are enacting rules and regulations which are reducing the access to e-cigarettes of smokers who want to quit, which will, of course, eventuate in their premature death. We don't want that to happen. We want smokers to be able to get e-cigarettes, to use them anywhere they want because they're not toxic, not to be forced to go outside with cigarette smokers and inhale secondhand smoke, which is actually toxic. So that's a potential silver lining.
The proposal contains 241 pages. It's much more complex than what we can explain in this video, so we urge you to head to our website where Dr. Ross has written extensively on the topic. That's acsh.org. And while you're there, don't forget to also sign up for your daily dose of news delivered right to your inbox. For ACSHA, I'm Anna Samofska.